Welcome to another enlightening episode of Underestimated Strength, where today we explore the complexities of our emotions and the underestimated strength within us all. Today, we're diving into a thought-provoking topic that many experience but few recognize: the subtle art of emotional manipulation through pity parties and guilt trips. Join us as we unravel how these tactics can impact our relationships and our sense of self. I'm excited to introduce your host and creator of Underestimated Strength, Dr. Erica Seaborn, a passionate advocate for emotional well-being and a beacon of insight in navigating life's challenges. Get ready for an engaging conversation that will empower you to recognize these behaviors and help you express your feelings of loneliness in a healthier way. Let's get started.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Underestimated Strength, where we dive deep into the emotional landscapes that shape our lives. I'm Dr. Erica Seaborn, and today we're tackling a topic that many of us encounter but might not always recognize: the use of pity parties and guilt trips as emotional manipulation tactics. Now, have you ever felt pressured to do something because someone made you feel guilty or sad for them? It's a common scenario, and often we don't realize it's happening until we find ourselves all overwhelmed and confused and sometimes frustrated. Well, today, I got good news for you. We're going to explore how these tactics manifest in our daily lives, particularly through social media, text messages, and phone calls. Let's discuss pity parties and guilt trips. Let's start with social media. Social media, well, it's a powerful platform, but it can also be a breeding ground for emotional manipulation. Imagine scrolling through your news feed and running across a post that says, some people just don't understand how hard life can be. Feeling really alone right now. And then it's followed by a little sad face emoji. Now, this type of post is a vague expression of discontent that invites sympathy without actually detailing the issue, what they're going through. They're just seeking attention or validation. They don't really want help. They just want attention about their issues. And it's a subtle way to draw in comments and concern from friends. Basically, it's about validation and attention. Well, how about this one? Some people have it easy. I wish I could be like them instead of struggling every day. Hashtag just saying. That's a popular one. A really popular one. Now, that kind of post can create guilt among people who seem to have it all together from the perceptions of those people who share posts like that. In a way, it's unfair judgmentalism. Nobody has it all together. When you spend time sulking and focusing on yourself, being selfish, essentially, or conceited, you will be bound to compare your situation to other people's, or either just put your situations out there seeking attention and validation. And then when you share things like that, or if anyone shares a post like that, they're trying to create a sense of guilt in the people who read it. They want people to feel guilty and feel sorry for them. They're not trying to make their own situation better, in other words. They want the readers to feel responsible for their feelings. They're not trying to be accountable for their own feelings. They want you, the reader, to feel sorry for them, to be responsible for validating them, for making them happy. Now, we discussed a couple of examples with social media posts. Let's dive into text messages and phone calls. I'm pretty sure many of you can relate to a couple of the examples I'm going to provide. Now, let me give a disclaimer right now. The examples I'm sharing are not from people I know. They are not things I've seen on my newsfeed, and I've seen some similar things on my newsfeed, but these were sent to me. I don't know who may have shared them. I'm just saying. These are some common examples. So, if you're wondering if I know someone who said this, these comments and these examples, then I'm going to put your mind at ease. No. I've seen similar things. I've heard similar things. Yes, I've had people try to put guilt trips on me and make me feel responsible for their feelings. But no, don't invite me to that mess. But anyhow, just putting that disclaimer out there. If anything sounds similar to something you've seen or heard, it's not necessarily from those people. These are just examples that were sent to me. Okay, now that I got that out the way, let's look at text messages. Text messages, they can be just as manipulative. A lot of people like to use text messages to try to manipulate people, and it's wrong. It's wrong. You might receive a text message that says something like, I can't believe you forgot my birthday. I guess it just doesn't matter to you how I feel. Wow. I'm pretty sure you or someone else you know may have received something like that. I received something like that a while ago, and not in those exact words, but yeah, I can relate to that, to receiving something like that. And it leaves you feeling like, what? You're looking at the phone like, okay. Well, that type of message implies a sense of guilt and emotional distress that can pressure the recipient to respond with an apology or compensation. And then there are the phone calls. Imagine this. Someone calls you. And most of the time, it's probably somebody you haven't heard from in months, weeks, years, or even days. They always want you to call them. They don't put effort into calling you unless they need or want something. But picture this. They call you. They say, I just don't know how I'm going to manage without your help. Everything seems to be going wrong for me. And you're sitting on the other end of the phone like, what? I hadn't heard from you in God knows when, and you're trying to make me feel guilty? Wow. Now that kind of statement positions the caller as a victim, while putting you, the other person, in a difficult position where they try to make you feel like you're responsible for their happiness. I'm sorry. I'm not responsible for your happiness or your joy. That's on you. Your mindset is your choice. You have to set boundaries in situations like that. Now, those examples that illustrate how pity parties and guilt trips are used as tools for manipulation. But it's crucial to recognize that those tactics are manipulative so we can maintain healthy boundaries in our relationships. Now let's discuss healthy expressions of loneliness. How can people express how they're feeling in a healthy way without trying to make someone else feel responsible for their unhappiness or their loneliness? On the flip side, that's where we're going right now. And here are some strategies on how we can express feelings of loneliness in healthy, constructive ways. The first way is open and honest communication. Share your feelings directly without placing blame on other people. For example, you could say, I've been feeling a bit lonely lately and would love to catch up with you when you have time. Another suggestion is using I statements when you're communicating with other people. This helps frame your feelings in a way that emphasizes your experiences without placing the blame on others. I feel lonely when I don't get to spend time with friends. It's much more effective than pointing fingers and saying, well, you don't spend time with me. What's wrong with me? Or you don't do this, or you don't do that. That's not helpful at all. Using you statements, it's better to use I statements. That way, you're taking responsibility and accountability without placing blame on someone else. Another thing we can do is seek out connections. Take initiatives to reach out to other people. You might say, I'd love to get together this weekend if you have time or if you're free. You could say that to someone. And another thing you could do is engage in group activities. Instead of focusing solely on individual relationships, express a desire to join group activities. You could say, I'd love to join the next game night or book club or sip and paint or, any activity that involves other people. Get out there, mingle. And you know what you need to remember? It's important to address feelings of loneliness without making other people feel guilty or pressured. Now, I found journaling to be very helpful too. You can use journaling, you can seek professional support, and you can explore new interests. Those are also ways to help navigate your feelings in a healthy way. By practicing self-compassion and sharing positive experiences, we can foster meaningful and strong connections with other people without the weight of guilt. I'd like to thank you for joining me and tuning in to this brief episode of Underestimated Strength. I hope this episode has helped you recognize signs of emotional manipulation and empowers you to think more about how you can express your feelings in a healthy way. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and share with your friends and even strangers. And who knows? I think I'm going to go into more detail about this in another episode. So stay tuned. And until the next time, take care of yourselves and each other. And remember, you are responsible for your underestimated strength. And manipulation and pity parties are for those who do not take responsibility for their underestimated strength. Today and always, may you manifest that underestimated strength in your life. And it will be contagious and affect others, and you can create joyful and healthy relationships by remaining positive and taking responsibility for your mindset, for your feelings. Strengthen others. Don't try to make them feel guilty and weaken them. That's what a person with underestimated strength does. Empower others because they feel empowered. God bless you, and now see you soon.
Proving doubters wrong, reaching higher. In the midst of chaos, we never tire. Brightening the world like a shining spire. The overlooked and underestimated things make life beautifully sing, turning weaknesses into strengths. Oh, how it